Did you know that the best players in COD Mobile don't just rely on their skills? They use a lot of hidden settings in the game that give them a massive advantage because most people don't even know these settings exist. So here are some game-changing settings that you need to know about from level 1 all the way up to level 3. We're starting with level 1 and the first setting will fix a problem with the snipers. Now we all know that it's really hard to have a good accuracy when you're using snipers in COD Mobile. This is partly because when you're scoping in with a sniper, you can't really see anything through the scope, and because of this, using snipers can be a nightmare for many players. But don't worry, because there's a setting that you can change to see through the scope even while you're scoping in. And the best part is that this setting even makes your crosshair bigger, which helps you improve your accuracy. This setting is called the realistic scope and you can find it on the audio and graphics tab. Make sure to turn on this setting and you should be good to go. Alright, now have a listen to these two clips and see if you can tell the difference. Well, on the first clip, you can hear a lot of white noise coming from the background of the map, but on the second clip, there's no background noise at all. But why is background noise important for your gameplay? Well, if there's a lot of background noise, then it gets kinda hard to hear the sounds of your enemies like footsteps, and we need to make sure that we can hear these sounds clearly. So go to your audio settings and find this setting called the ambient sound, and make sure you have this setting turned off and all the background noise will be gone. Moving on to the next setting, this one will help you win more fights. When I didn't know about these settings, I used to lose a lot of fights in close range, even if I was using a decent weapon. Not because of my aim, but mainly because my weapon wasn't shooting even if I pressed the fire button. You see, by default, your weapon only starts shooting when you're fully scoped in, which is not great for having fights at close range. Because at that point, you're basically relying on the ADS speed of your weapon, which is not something you can control, but you can use a setting that allows you to shoot while you're scoping in. This setting is called the one-tap ADS fire, and if you turn on this setting, your weapon will shoot even while you're aiming. Alright, so now we're at level 2 and that means it's time to talk about settings that are even more powerful. For example, there's a new setting that was added recently which improves your awareness. Normally, if your enemy is using a dark skin while being inside a shadow, then you're basically cooked. Because sometimes you can't really see an enemy in darker areas of the map and it has nothing to do with your skills. But the good news is that now there's a setting in the game that makes your enemies glow in the dark, allowing you to spot them without any problem. With this setting turned on, you can see your enemies inside shadows even if they're using skins that are dark. This setting is called the enemy recognition and it's inside the basic settings. By default, it's turned off, but you have to make sure to turn it on. Alright, so now I want to show you a powerful setting, but first have a look at these two explosions. Well, when the setting was turned on, you can see that my screen was shaking when the grenade exploded, but after I turned this setting off, you can see that the shaking was basically gone. Now this is something that's important to consider when